Hello there. Thank you for joining me on the AM show. And just gone by, you saw my colleague Samuel Imbura of our political desk give you a wrap of what transpired yesterday at the NPP's headquarters. So it's a done deal now. We know we are going into the Super Delegates Congress, which is slated for some time in August, and we will be furnishing you with all the details. This is your election headquarters. But this morning, we want to have a conversation about what the next few steps will look like for the New Patriotic Party. And I've been joined by Dr. Kwesi Agyapong. He's a political scientist at KNUST, and Kojo Poku, who is a flag bearer aspirant himself. And let me start with you, Mr. Poku, and You have gone through the process. Finally, you're on the ballot sheet. What does it feel like for you at this stage in the race to be the NPP's flag bearer?
Ben, and good morning to your viewers. I think it feels the same way I felt when I started this process last year, February, when I made the announcement that I will be contesting for the flag bearership of the party. It is the naysayers that did not believe that I'll do it. But look, for me, every day and every event is one more feather in my hat to show that a young man like me can be very determined to do this. And I am doing this. A lot of people thought I would step down along the way, which has not happened. And everybody can now see that, look, the young man means business.
So, Mr. Poku, you just mentioned the naysayers, and there were some rumors initially that you were going to be dropped from the list. I don't know if you heard any of those, but was there any point that you felt that it was going to be a tough one for you getting to this point?
Not at all. I mean, look, I said a lot of people have their phones and they just basically look at other things on the internet, but they fail to Google who Kojo Poku is. If you have done your research and background of who I am, you will know that I don't step up to do things lightly. Before I step up to do anything, I have done my in-depth analysis of my soul, of my resources, and my family to know that I can do this. Something I want to correct, which your reporter said, was that, look, there has not been any problem between a 9 and a 1, a 9 and the party. There has never been issues. The reason the Monday balloting was not done was because most of the aspirants were out in the regions. Now, the election committee was inaugurated on Monday. But you see, if you ballot, it means that all else is okay, and then we move on to the process. We felt that there are staking issues in terms of guidelines, because when we went to council, there were other things that the council referred to the election committee. So we were of the view that we need to meet with the election committee, bring these things to fore, basically iron them out before we move into the balloting. That was why the balloting did not happen on Monday. It wasn't because some people were going to step down. There were issues between us and the party, or there was no such thing. What people don't seem to understand is that this is one family, and this family will stay together. There are no issues. The media keep bringing up issues that we don't even know about. So the most important thing is, look, the balloting is done. I'm number 4, and I think everybody will take notes.
And Mr. Poku, you say there were no issues, but I mean, there were times that I personally had to engage chairman of the Council of Elders over concerns that were raised by some of the aspirants concerning the delegates list and a couple others. So it may not have been as, the friction may not have been as you're saying the media or people are putting it, but there sure were issues to be settled, weren't they?
No, there were issues that we felt. Look, we did a petition. And like I said, when these things happen, it is a family matter and we resolve it. When we felt, the 9 felt that there was an issue that needs to be discussed, we went through the right channels. We put it on paper and gave it to the chairman of the party. And rightfully so, he escalated it to the council, which is the highest decision body of the party. Sorry, the second highest decision body of the party. And they ruled on the matter that, look, they think that this is how it should be. Some of us wanted centralized voting. They said, no, it should be regional voting because the precedent is that it's always been central. We stick by that decision. We work hard, we forge on and make it happen. I mean, I don't think the media always make things look more than what it is. That's what I want to point out.
Interesting. Let me bring Dr. Kwesi Agyapong in here. And okay, I'm told that we'll get him shortly. So let me continue with you. So what do the coming days look like for you? Now, you are on the ballot, which means that you've been given the all clear to contest. What is your plan, really, moving forward?
Well, for me, I have done the country twice. I've been to all 16 regions. I am in constant communication with all the delegates, the constituency chairmen who are also voting. My message to them have always been the same. Let's have a two-way communication. Let's have a relationship. When it comes to Kojopoku, that use and dump is out of the scene. I don't believe in that. I believe in forging relationship, keeping them, and basically mentoring these relationships. And that, for me, has been my message. From tomorrow, I'm moving out to the Bono East, Bono area. I have my list in each region, those that I want to basically concentrate on. I cannot concentrate on all 930. I've been talking to the delegates, and I have feel that there are some that I have gotten relationship with, and I want to basically groom that relationship. And from today, my plan is to basically work on those that I think can be in the KMP family, and also groom those that are already in the KMP family. So that's the plan going forward.
Right. I'll come back to you, but let me now engage Dr. Kwesi Agyapong. He's a political scientist at KNUST. Doc, thank you so much for your time this morning. And I'd just like to take your quick thoughts, okay? The party has finally gone through the balloting process. Mr. Kojopoku believes that the media is probably creating a problem that doesn't exist. In his estimation, he thinks that this is just a family problem that needed to be addressed, concerns about whether they should go for a centralized or decentralized voting for the Super Delegates Conference, and also concerns about the delegates list, and a whole lot. But from where you sit as a political scientist, how will you assess how the party has handled all these concerns, culminating to this point where we have, you know, these flag bearer aspirants all on the ballot?
March, and let me say good morning to your viewers and listeners. The whole thing is unfolding as, generally speaking, you expect political activities in a political party preparing for elections to unfold. People have cause to be anxious. The establishment has openly demonstrated its interest in a particular person. At that time, Mr. Kenneth Furiata simply openly endorsed Dr. Bawumia. And so the other contestants obviously want to, express some sort of apprehension. If there's any little development that they don't fully understand and they don't think they are very well represented in. But then so far, I think the party has addressed these issues properly, because normally conflicts, we say, are normal, generally, not only in political party activities, but also in the life of any group of individuals. But then when the conflicts come, the way they are addressed becomes the issue. Political scientists agree that, such development enable the system to grow, to mature, to become stronger, learn, and then in future be able to address similar, issues as and when they come. One, the fact that they've gotten all the contestants to come together, go through the balloting, itself is indeed a demonstration of progress being made by the party. I think the party is doing well so far.
Now, let me find out, because thankfully, we have one of the flag bearer aspirants here. You just made a statement about the establishment choosing one of the candidates over the others. Mr. Kojopoku, do you feel that is what is happening?
Feel intangible. So basically, nobody can put their hand on it. It's a perception. I mean, people have their perception, and look, everybody is at liberty to have their own perception if they think that's the case. I honestly see Doctor as a colleague in this race because he's a candidate. When we went to ballot, he couldn't come. He sent his his chief of staff, Mr. Fred Owari, to come and do it. We are all colleagues in this race. Yes, he doubles up as vice president. So when he goes to places, he wears two hats. So all the protocol that has to be in place as a vice president is in place. I've been had the cause to be asked that, am I worried about the trooping of all executives and party machinery behind him? I said, no. it's the protocol. When the vice president comes, everybody gets up, everybody follows him. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a colleague and as an aspirant, if he thinks that the people following him are going to vote for him by virtue of him being vice president, then that's a different matter. I have a reason to believe that people will vote their conscience. People will basically do the right thing on the day. Look, there is challenges, and normally it's not to do with the aspirant. It's to do with people around the aspirant, overzealous, over trying to impress, and they are the problem, not the aspirant. So our concern is not really with the aspirants or the colleagues in this race. Our concern has always been with the supporters and people around the aspirants who are trying to basically catch the eye of the aspirant post-election. But one thing is for sure, we're going to have a free and fair election, and measures are being put in place to achieve that.
Right. Let me now bring in a director of elections at the NPP, Mr. Evans Namaku. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, Mr. Poku has expressed confidence that there will be a free and fair election. We heard from some of the other aspirants on the clip that just aired before we started the conversation. We heard from Mr. Alan Kojo-Tramanting, and we heard from Mr. Kwabena Agyapong. Your party has been in the news quite recently for some reasons, bordering on what some of the aspirants think should be the manner in which the election should be conducted, and what the party finally made a decision on. As we hear from all of them, they are now on the same page, but there's just an interesting aspect that has got a lot of tongues wagging. It's about a certain undertaking, call it, that these aspirants, both presidential and parliamentary, have to sign, saying that they will not be independent candidates or run on the ticket of any other party if they fail to become either a presidential candidate or a parliamentary candidate. What exactly is informing this decision by the party?
Thank you for having me, and I'm happy Mr. Kojo has put it definitely as it is, that the fears of the presidential aspirants have been allayed. This is in view of the fact that the Presidential Elections Committee that was put together by the National Council has engaged and will continue to engage our aspirants until the D-Day, 26th August and November 4, 2023. The issues that were raised earlier were put to rest by the National Council, which they all appreciate is the body clothed with authority to give such directives on the issue of how the elections is supposed to be conducted. The National Council made it clear to all stakeholders that for the precedents you've had, you will be conducting the Special Electoral College in all the 16 regions as well as the national headquarters. With respect to voting by the delegates, I think the party constitution is clear that irrespective of the number of categories that a delegate may belong, each voter is entitled to one vote. And it is also emphasized in the Article 13, Clause 2, Subclause 2, that all delegates will vote for one contestant when there are more than one candidate for such election. So all those issues were put to rest. Other nitty-gritties that needed to be addressed have to do with how the EC will conduct the exercise on the election day. And I think when we met with the aspirants, as Mr. Kojo has informed you, it's been made clear that all the rough edges have been smoothened, and they can confidently assure their supporters that the party is ready to conduct a very free, fair, transparent primary. The issue of signing contractual agreement with the party is something that the candidates did in their nomination form. Mm-hmm. They appeared before the vetting committee. They swore an oath to make sure that at all times party unity will be central in their discussions. But they can also let you know that when the party met at council emphasized that going forward, having been cleared by the elections committee and getting the endorsement of the National Council, we expect candidates at all times to respect the code of conduct that has been put together by the party. That in this way, they must be mindful of their campaign messages, to stick to their policy and issues and not to attack individuals. And so that was why the party is bringing it back to them, that they should be mindful of the contractual arrangement that they signed, that they will respect the processes put together by the party to conduct primaries that will be free, fair, and transparent. We are being informed by our history that in some instances where primaries are conducted, some candidates will then depart from the party line. And so this arrangement is to bring them in line with party rules and regulations, that when all is said and done, they will still be bounded by the rules and regulations, the code of conduct, as well as the party.
Mr. Nimaku, has this always been the case, or you were, instructed, if I may say, by the incident of the former MP, for which reason you included this in the nomination forms?
This has always been the case.
Right. But
when council concluded, council sought to remind our presidential aspirants that this is what they have committed themselves to, and they are bound by it.
Yes, but don't these candidates reserve the right to make such decisions if they choose to after, say, they lose an election? I'm saying this because, and I have a copy of your undertaking, and I'd like to read it so that my audience can get a grasp of what we're talking about here. So I haven't expressed or indicated my interest or desire to contest in the presidential primary elections of the New Patriotic Party and subsequently contest as a presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 general elections. I do undertake and assure the NPP with utmost good faith that in the event of being unsuccessful at the primaries, 1, I shall not offer myself as an independent candidate on the ticket of any party for the purpose of the 2024 general elections. 2, I shall not under any circumstance be in breach of this undertaking should I be permitted to take part in the New Patriotic Party's presidential primary elections. 3, in the event of a breach of this undertaking by me, the New Patriotic Party reserves the right to restrain me from contesting as an independent candidate or as a candidate on the ticket of any other political party. Is a third point I am interested in. How does the party even intend to restrain persons from contesting on the ticket of another party if they fail just by signing to this? What is the party's understanding of restraining people in this circumstance?
Well, thank you. I think that the party got to this stage because we are human. It's a political party, and we are dealing with senior party members who have been given opportunity to participate in this. And mind you, they are true party persons, and they respect and appreciate the party's philosophy and ideology. But as human as we are, these individuals have support base across the country. Sometimes it may not be on their own, but may be driven by the support base. And so this is to remind them that notwithstanding circumstances surrounding whatever the outcome of the elections, they must also have in mind that having gotten the opportunity by the party to be in this exercise, we are also obliged to comply.
But they also have freedom of association, don't they? But back to my question about how the party intends to restrain them. So say, if I were a candidate, I don't want to use any other person, so I'll be said to be biased. Let me just use myself. If I were a candidate and I lost the elections and I made a decision that I was going to leave the party, because I have signed this, how will the party restrain me? I just want the practical steps that the party will take in case of an incident like that?
Okay, so this is a political party, and we are getting our presidential aspirant to appreciate that for being allowed to participate in this exercise, you are obliged to respect the rules and regulations and code of conduct put together by the party. And let me give you this analogy. Married couples are bound by the vows they say to each other, isn't it? And they respect it at all times, obey it. The new patriotic party has gone into this contractual arrangement with our presidential candidate. They gave us their word. They swore an oath that they will respect and abide by the rules put together by the party. We therefore expect them at this stage that having been allowed by the party to be in this process, they are not to be in breach of these rules of engagement. We hope they will go by this. In event that any of them want to contravene this exercise, the party will take an action within the law to address it as we put it black and white on the paper.
How this plays within the law, because I'm just thinking about a person's freedom to associate and a person's freedom to, make decisions as stipulated in the Constitution, and whether this contained in this contract, as you refer to it, is not in contravention of the Constitution. Let me take the thoughts of Dr. Amache Boateng on this. Doc, in your entire experience as a political scientist, have you ever come across a clause like this in any contract or agreement between a person and a political party he belongs to? And what are your quick thoughts about it?
I'd like to, let me explicitly react to it. I have it, but I don't have to claim that I've been reading every document that might have something of this nature. I've been watching every political system, and so might have come to terms with some development like this. But that notwithstanding, some of these things are implied. Membership of a political party also implies that you are going to align yourself with the rules of the game, the rules and regulations that the political party operates with. And they would, NPP, a living organism, a rational entity, would like to make sure that they don't break their ranks going into the next election. And they want to address all concerns that, to the best of their understanding, might become a constraint. And one of them is this issue that we are looking at. So I think it's only fair on their part to get a contestant to sign onto some such understanding. And I don't think it is odd. I don't think it is out of place. If you are a member of the party, hello.
Dr. Amache Boateng, I beg your pardon. We can hear you.
Good. If you are a member of the party and then you have come out to contest, as a presidential material, you understand that at the end of the day, only one person is going to go through at the end of the day. If you have any concerns about how things are, unfolding, and essentially this issue about free and fair elections, relates to the rules of the electoral game and their implementation. You still have time, you still have opportunity to address any issue that you have difficulty with. And then the leadership here represented by the council will address it. And as it is so far, the council has really been working, and to the best of my understanding, I don't have information about any special development in there. But I give the council the benefit of the doubt and say that we have addressed all such concerns so far today. So I think it is fair. It is fair on the part of the party to want to keep this rank together, especially after the election. Once you have 10 people contesting, now the stakes are high, and everybody is going in to win. I did hear Mr. Kojopoku and how hopeful he is. And that is the way it should be. So they don't want to also entertain anything that will give an impression, that the rules are being twisted in favor of any other person. So there's a high possibility that someone, an aggrieved person who loses, might want to break away. The party is in to also win the national presidential elections. So I think they are doing the right thing for themselves.
I mean, I'm guessing Mr. Kojopoku may not want to comment on this, but let me give it a try. Mr. Kojopoku, I mean, within the legal arena, we've just heard from Dr. Agyapong, who's a political scientist, but legally, is this possible at all? Because I'm thinking about, and we just heard from your Director of Elections and Research, who said that restraining here could probably mean going legal with whichever contestant, parliamentary or presidential, that decides to break away from the party in case they lose. But is this legally sound?
Benis, you came up and said freedom of association. We individuals freely associated ourselves with the NPP. Nobody forced us into NPP. So the minute you join a group, association, any organization, you are bound by the rules of that association. What my brother, Director of Election, is trying to say is very clear. As long as you are a member of that party, you are bounded by the rules of that party. Look, the issue that we signed, the undertaking, is only a rehash of the laws of the party or the laws of any association. If you are willing to be part of that association, then you don't do anything that contravenes the association. And it's not only a political party. You cannot be part of an association and then decide that you're going to do something in contrary to the association and still be part of that association. So it's very simple. The same way you freely joined, you can freely leave.
Yeah, but is that not what the last point is denying you of? And let me just read it again.
No, it's not denying you of anything. You came freely.
Yes.
Nobody forced you into MPP. Look, if I was born into MPP and I am hereditary by MPP, then that issue comes in that, oh, look, I didn't have a choice to be part of MPP. I was born into it by hereditary. So you cannot say that I have to. But you came freely. Nobody was born into MPP. You joined freely. So if you cannot abide by the rules of the party, by all means, you cannot be part of the party and contravene its rules. And its rules is that you need to stick to the rules of the party. It's very simple. I don't see how
where here the rules here mean that you cannot leave to form another association or you cannot join. Doesn't that contravene your basic human rights?
My sister, nobody is saying you cannot leave. Everybody can leave. What the law is saying is that you cannot have your cake and eat it too. All the party is saying that you cannot be part of the party and decide to run independent or go and do something else. So you want to be part.
So in other words, a decision to go independent or join another party means you forfeit your membership of the party.
But isn't that what it is? And that is the basic common sense. You can't be part of a party and go independent. What does independent mean? Independent means that you are no longer part of an association. So really and truly, the party doesn't need to tell you that. When you sit in your house and you make that decision, it's clear. And every time that has happened, people have gone independent. And to come back into the party, you have to join. Then you have to go through 5 years of good standing to be meaningful to anything. So, look, I have a typical example when last year, in 2021 December, the group of Ashanti youth came to me and said, look, we've heard you want to do this, but we want you to do it as an independent. And I said, no, I will do it in the party. And they agreed and they are all supporting me to do it in a party. If I said that, okay, I'll do it with them, the number of years that I've been part of the party is cancelled and wiped out. I go out of the party. If I decide to come back, then I start afresh. But it means that nobody can trust you. You need to toil. You need to basically go through the rankles, the hurdles of a party. That's what it is. Not everything that the party does that you'll be happy with. Like we rightly discussed, some of us wanted a centralized voting. The council, which is part of the constitution, says that no, we are the ones that decide where venues are held. This is what we've decided. Everybody clap and move on. That's the association. That is what comes with it. So look, you want to be part of an association, you stick with the rules.
Yeah, it's interesting you say this because, if the party had stuck to restraining you from being an independent candidate, then I can understand the argument you're making here. But the party goes on to say that, or contesting on the ticket of another political party. What I know exists is that one cannot run on the ticket of another political party while being a member of another. So is the party suggesting in the introduction of that phrase, another political party, suggesting that even if you leave the party to join another party and contest as on that party's ticket, they will still come after you. Help me understand that bit as well.
Okay, so let me use this. I'm a Ghanaian. The Constitution of Ghana applies to me as long as I'm a Ghanaian. A Nigerian who lives in Nigeria, a Constitution of Nigeria applies to him. Whatever happens, if I leave Ghana and go to Nigeria and I renounce my citizenship of Ghana, the laws of Ghana no longer applies to me. The laws of Nigeria applies to me. Everything the party is saying only applies to you as long as you are a member of the party. So what the party is telling you that, look, these are my rules. If you are a patriot, these are the rules. If you cease to be a patriot, that's it. I mean, then the party rules doesn't apply. I walk around with the party handbook. If I'm no longer a member of the party, why would I be doing the party handbook in my bag? So you are guided by the party constitution as long as you're a member of the party. You are a freedom of association. You can join any party you want. But the minute you leave the party, all these things we are discussing is muted. It doesn't apply to you.
But that's what I'm asking. Is it practical that there will be a patriot who will be taken by another political party to be its flag bearer without he forfeiting that right or that membership as a patriot?
You cannot do that.
Exactly my point. And so I'm asking why that is even necessary in there.
The individual, I'm not saying the party can do that. I'm saying the individual cannot do that.
Right.
It's not the party. No. What I'm saying is that the party is an association. We all came to join the party. The party has its rules. If you, the individual, wants to abide by a different rules, that's, like you said, freedom of association. You leave and join something else so that the party rules do not apply to you. I don't see how that's difficult. Okay, so this is my last attempt at this question, and we'll move on to other things. So clearly, we are on the same page here, and that's why I'm asking if it was even necessary at all to include that if the person wanted to be flag bearer or parliamentary candidate or flag bearer candidate on the ticket of another party, the NPP will restrain them. In your own words, you can't be a patriot and stand as a presidential candidate or parliamentary candidate of another party. So why include that there? Okay, so that tells you the love. That tells you the love the party has for its members. The party has the love for the members that they will restrain you from leaving because we don't want to lose the best brains. Agyapong is the best brain in the country in energy. Agyapong is probably one of the youngest people who's very vibrant on your show. The party will not want to lose me because I'm a very I'm worth to them. So the party.
But can the party restrain?
Let me land. The party will make an effort. It doesn't like the party doesn't care. That point is to tell you that the party will make an effort to restrain you. But the end decision is with the individual. But it tells you that the party is not forcing anybody out. It is making an effort to keep its members. Because it's not easy to go out there. We are keep spending money to do outreach, to bring more people into the party. So we cannot just be pushing people out nilly and willy.
Right.
Okay? So that point is to say that the party will make all the effort to restrain you. But the final decision is with an individual.
Well, I wonder how that is when we just heard from the Director of Elections and Research who said restraining could mean taking you to court or seeking legal redress on the matter. But he's joined on the line again. Thank you so much, Mr. Nimako, for reconnecting. So I was just asking Mr. Agyapong about the bit on the party restraining a parliamentary candidate or presidential aspirant who lost from contesting on the ticket of another party. If somebody is contesting on the ticket of another party, they won't still be a member of your party. So why do you include that to say that you restrain them if they make a decision to do so?
Thank you. But I think both Dr. Amachi and Mr. Agyapong have hit the nail right on the head. This is a political party. And we are also informed by other developments in other jurisdictions. If you take the case of Nigeria, individuals easily move from one party to the other in the midst of the conduct of elections. And so the New Patriotic Party is guided by some of these developments. But my sister, when we get to that bridge, the party will cross. We have strong confidence in our presidential hopeful that they will not be tempted, having gone through this exercise, to either decide to form their own political party or be on the ticket of other political parties. They were not coerced to participate in this exercise. In fact, they are in constant engagement with the party that they want to come on board and lead the party to win elections 2024. And so that is the focus. There have been lots of refreshing issues to be discussed in all this process. From the period the party opened the nomination, conducted the vetting, submitted a report to National Council, directive from National Council, and just yesterday, the conduct of the ballot and engagement with the youth tells you that the party is on the move to conduct a very fair, free, transparent primaries that will elect for us our presidential candidate. That is the focus. The issue of the undertaking is just remind our members, our candidates, that they should be mindful of the party's position. And as Kojo Fuku keeps on telling you, if you are a blue party person, you restrict yourself to comply with the directive. And in other associations, you may even disagree, but disagreement will not mean you walk away. If you want the interest of your party to survive, at all times, you respect the rules of engagement put together by the party. So at this stage, all that I want to put across, that the party is minded of certain developments. And if we are identified, we put in place mechanisms that will help the party address them. We appreciate the extent to which these individuals have been conducting their campaigns, and where the party have had issues, the party had to issue communique, circular, to remind party members of the cardinal need to have our party cohesion well put together. And so that is the focus, and I can assure you that at the end of this exercise, 26th of August, November 4, 2023, the new Patriotic Party will come out with the presidential candidate who will lead the party to win elections 2024.
Thank you for your time, Evans Limakwe, Director of Research and Elections of the NPP. Let me just wrap up with Mr. Kojopoku and Dr. Amacho Boateng. Let me start with you, Doc. The party is, as we've been told, on course to selecting a flag bearer aspirant. We know that it's quite a large number in there, and delegates will make their decision on the August 26th and then later in November. How do you think the delegates must conduct themselves? So what should they be looking out for in making a decision on who the flag bearer of the NPP should be, seeing that they want to break the 8? Who is the best bet for the candidates? In a minute, please.
How should the delegates conduct themselves? They should do what is done to produce what political parties desire to get. Political parties, generally speaking, would like to be in government. When they are in opposition, they are out of business. The delegates, I expect them to be rational, to go in for the candidate they believe can break the 8.
Thank you for...
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Let me leave it there.
Right. Thank you for your time. And let me just wrap up with you, Mr. Kojopoku, who is on the ballot. What does the future look like for you? You've told us you'll be going to some other places, but generally, what does the future look like for you?
Well, the future is brilliant. The future is beautiful. I can't ask for more than it is now. I mean, it's a new day. I'm on the ballot. And I think my pastor called me and said that, look, Kojo, the number 4 that you have is the divine number, because for God so loved NPP, he has given his beloved son KMP to basically break the 8 for the party. So I think, look, being at that number 4 means that we have good things happening in the country and in the party.
It's interesting that we still have interesting interpretations to the ballot numbers that we pick. I've seen Honorable Adainimo have CR7, that's Ronaldo. It's interesting. I'm just waiting to see what the others will come up with. But thank you so much for your time.
There's quite a lot. Maybe you've not been on social media, but everybody has. It's a fun game. And these are the things that rejuvenate the base of the party, because everybody has their supporter and everybody's playing around with numbers. And look, it's fun games. At the end of the day, the message is important, and some of us have the right message. And I think that at the end of the day, everybody, when they are going through the minute because look, anytime you're given a ballot, your eyes directly goes to the middle of the ballot and it goes to number 4. And I think that's the most important thing.
Right. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. That's Agyapong, who is number 4 on the NPP's ballot, hoping to be the party's presidential candidate. This is the AM show. Up next, we engage the chief executive of the Youth Employment Agency. Benjamin Akapo will be sitting with Kofi Agyapong.